You might be someone who is afraid to play the Call of Duty campaign at the veteran difficulty, and frankly, I don't blame you. When Call of Duty warns you that you will not survive, they certainly tried their hardest to make sure that that's true. But it is in fact possible to beat these missions, and I'm going to show you how to confidently play through the veteran difficulty. It's more simple than you may realize, and you may end up finding a lot of joy through the immense difficulty. The reason you suck at playing the veteran difficulty very simply comes down to being impatient. Trying to rush through the level is the quickest way to die in this game. But don't worry, by the end of the video, you'll be able to crush the veteran difficulty with ease. One of the fundamental tactics you need to master is abusing cover. Forget about the pressure of playing it like it's multiplayer. Nobody is going to shame you for using dirt cheap tactics. In the 12 veteran campaigns I have completed, I have found that each level in basically every moment of the game will provide some kind of sneaky and oftentimes advantageous piece of cover that will really help you with clearing the area before you have to advance through. But the problem, the major problem with veteran and finding a spot that you're comfortable with is that on the veteran difficulty, the enemy input will often notice that you're comfortable in one spot and will relentlessly force you out with grenades. For select COD titles, the grenade parties are far worse than other titles, Call of Duty World at War being the absolute worst. That's when abusing cover really comes in handy. The secret to success there is to make sure that you have enough protection from every direction of fire, and from there try to peek out and pick off the first enemies on screen as they appear with each peek around the corner. If you're having trouble with getting shot looking for cover, it always helps to go immediately prone, next to the closest piece of cover that you can find. This will guarantee you the maximum amount of coverage while you're getting shot at. Once you understand the basics and importance of cover in veteran, it's important you equip yourself with a long-range weapon, or a sniper if it's possible. Having a weapon capable for long range will make picking people off a lot easier once you have found your cozy little spot to clear the area. For the World War II COD titles, finding a long-range weapon to pick people off with is not only easy, but you actually have a large variety of weapons to choose from. However, with the more modern titles, your selection for long-range rifles is more limited. So I would stick to using an assault rifle with a mid to high-range scope if you can find it on the ground. Be careful with staying in a spot for too long, because not only are grenades going to be a problem, but oftentimes the mission objective will require you to advance rather than take out enemies, which can lead to a huge waste of ammo. So pay close attention to the mission objective to avoid wasting too much time or ammo. So if you're playing the campaign on the difficulties of regular or below, you probably don't ever need to use your equipment or tacticals, which is fine because it isn't necessary in those difficulties. However, they play a tremendous role in veteran according to the missions you are playing. Every mission in any Call of Duty campaign comes with a different equipment loadout, which is actually on purpose. It's the game's way of saying, you're going to need this. Call of Duty campaigns often provide you with tools specifically designed for that one mission. With that being said, if you have smoke bombs equipped, you are going to have an easy time with that mission. Smoke bombs make the enemy AI blind, which allow you to approach them without being shot, and in my opinion that might be the most overpowered tactical in all of Veteran. Flashbangs and concussion grenades will buy you a brief moment of time to either pick off enemies or regain health. The explosive equipment is also really nice when you don't feel like picking people off from cover. If you find yourself in an unbearable situation, just remember to use your equipment to clear that area or advance through it. Trust the equipment and you'll be tackling situations a lot more efficiently. As I mentioned before, playing on easier difficulties doesn't require as much focus or critical thought. You can seemingly play however you want with any weapon you can find. But when it comes to veteran, it's very important that you use the proper caution and loadout. In my experience, the weapon classes that should always be avoided are shotguns and light machine guns. Light machine guns are heavy, which will affect your mobility, meaning you'll spend a lot more time in the enemy crosshairs. Not to mention the ridiculous reload time. The older Call of Duties do not have a fast reload option within the campaign, so you could pour a cup of coffee before you were able to shoot again. Avoid light machine guns unless it's your only option. Shotguns will almost never be your only option, which is a good thing, really. The limited range requires you to be way too close to the enemy. The bullet flinch is way more intense on veteran, so if you miss your shot with the shotgun, you'll be shot back to the checkpoint. Another thing you should avoid in order to stay alive, believe it or not, are the grenades. Sounds stupid, right? But the truth is that none of the enemy AI will cook their frag grenades, which will give you like a 4-second window to go pick up the grenade and toss it back. Remember to throw back the grenade when possible. It might be cliche, but the truth is that your impatience is what's killing you. Remember that it's not a race, but rather a test of endurance. You want to take your time, observe enemy patterns, pay attention to where they're coming from, and plan your moves out. Slowly. When your screen turns red, hit the deck and get to cover. Take your time picking people off before advancing through the level. And remember to not be afraid to retreat back a little bit if the grenades start pouring in. You won't be able to throw all of those grenades back. And more importantly, remember to have fun while playing the veteran difficulty. It sure can be tough, but it can be just as fun if you know what you're doing. The challenge imposed in this difficulty will leave you with a great sense of accomplishment once you finally get through the level. Completing the COD campaign on veteran is strenuous, but it becomes a fun challenge when you understand how to approach it. I hope this video helps you out, or at least gets you excited to try out an old Call of Duty that you've been meaning to get 100% on. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
As heroes